Yesterday, we talked a little bit about the future of finding Squarespace templates, and I shared a little bit about the template finder at sqsbthemes.com, which you can use to find any template based off of very specific features or design aspects that you can't do with Google, or is very limited with any of the existing, um, like ChatGPT or Claude or any of the other AIs that you can talk with today and get stuff from. Um, and so the vision with the template finder is really based off the fact that search, as we've experienced it for the past 2.5 decades, is changing right now. And we're going from these centralized search engine kind of experiences like Google to more decentralized search experiences where we can use AI to get information in ways that we couldn't previously. And so with the template finder experiment, it's okay. Can we, um, ca without needing to do any SEO, so to speak, right? Can we create a search engine that can find really specific templates based off of specific aspects or features? So, for example, randomly, I was like, okay, let me look for a template with palm trees in the images, and it came back to me with Ventura by Big Cat Creative. This template features a clean and modern structure with a focus on imagery, including palm trees, which there's palm trees right there. Um, and so if I were to go to Google and say, and type in, Squarespace template with palm trees in the images, um, I might get Big Cat Creative as in the search results, but I won't get Ventura as a very specific result. Now, in the future, in the really near future, right, that's not going to be a factor anymore. In fact, you will be able to do exactly what I just described. um, but you'll also have you'll in this kind of like a middle space, you have the opportunity to create almost like a universal Squarespace template search experience where it doesn't matter if a template is on Etsy or Creative Market, or individual shop. It becomes much easier to find something specifically than it has been up until this point. And so I think there's a huge opportunity here for, if you scale this up to what I just described. Right now, the template finder, it's just finding templates that are already in our directory, which, like I mentioned yesterday, it's not every template that's out there. That would require a bit more resources to do. But it is just a proof of concept that, like, if you did want to do it, it's not too difficult. It's just a little bit matter of time and energy. Now, on the other side of this, I wanted to talk about the future of template design with generative AI. Um, and I think I haven't really done too much experiments with this particular side of it. I've done some simple like CSS kind of tests, maybe about a year ago. And I think as I'm talking about it out loud, I think I could probably try some things with the 7.0 developer platform. But I think we are not too far away from, being able to not just describe a template very specifically that you're looking for, but to generate a template based off of a really specific description in Squarespace. And this is just me talking out of my vision bank. It's not that I've like seen anything or heard anything, um, but in my vision bank, that must be possible because if it's not possible with Squarespace, it's definitely going to be possible with some other website builder, um, and it's probably already possible with some really small startup website builder who are just going straight forward with that kind of an experience where, whatever someone is possibly searching for today where they can't find, they could just generate it instead and be on their way. Now, I think the the scary part of this obviously is, okay, well, what if you're a designer and now your clients are just using AI to do the thing that you've like prided yourself in and built these skills around and so forth. I don't know. I don't have a clear thing answer to that. Um, I think I think perhaps hmm, what would I do? I think at the end of the day, you have to like figure out what your true value is, right? Like none of us, we weren't born where it's like your value is creating a Squarespace website. No, that's not where. There's like something deeper and more intrinsic to our nature. And it just so happens that Squarespace is a platform that allows us to express that nature and to explore it and to develop it. But it's not the end all and be all. So, maybe there's an aspect of design or there's an aspect of working with your clients. It's really the truth about what you do. And, maybe it's the fact that you translate, this digital or some technical aspect or some design thing easily for your clients. um, Maybe that's not going to go away. I'm learning, for example, with this template finder and with all the other kind of similar experiences I've messed around with, is that you know everybody interacts with things differently based off of their own frame of reference, and so um, it's probably going to take a little bit of time for this future to really sink in, but as it sinks in and as we get there, having just as clear of a vision for yourself of some inevitability that is true to you. Well, I think that's probably the um, the cure for when we encounter these these threats, right? Where it's like, an industry is changing, and this industry is where I've built my identity, and now it's no longer going to operate the same way it's operated. Well, okay. Um, do you have a vision for yourself that also requires you to operate in a way that you haven't yet been operated in? I think that's how you can evolve with any kind of technological change, is to appreciate your own changes and your own possibility and potential for change, in the same way that technology improves and improves efficiencies. How can I improve myself and become a more efficient person, or whatever it is to you, right? I think going back to our core intrinsic values and our nature, and then saying, okay, well, how does this evolve, right? It's already brought me through life to this point. How will it bring me into the next, right? So for me, when I was 10, the first time I searched the internet was because my teacher had a class project or a class thing where it was like, it's called Brainiacs. And every week there'd be like some type of pop trivia. It wasn't pop, just some trivia. And my mom took me to the library to search the internet for the first time. And the question was, what man-made object can you see from outer space? And couldn't find anything because not the answer to that question didn't exist on the internet yet at that time. And later on, when I was remembering this and I went and searched the same thing, it turns out that the answer that my teacher had was actually wrong. But that early experience of searching the internet, not finding something, and realizing that the thing that you're looking for, you've got to put it up there in order for it to exist for someone else, that has followed me into adulthood, where the same thing is true today, where if you are following your interest, your personal trivia, the things that, the questions that pop up in your consciousness that have no immediate obvious answer, and you can put those answers where there formerly wasn't, then now you've contributed to the super consciousness that's the internet. And now that that consciousness is evolving with generative AI taking all of those inputs and you know out outsmarting us. Um, yeah, it just means that now we can find things that we couldn't find before. So you know what I'm saying. So I'm excited. That makes me excited, right? Because it's like, all right, well, if I like to find things and I couldn't find things before, now I'm definitely going to find some things. One, and I'm also now definitely going to find some things that don't exist yet. Which again, to me, it seems like, well, that prize always gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. And then the other side of it is, as a problem solver who's like addicted to novel problems that uh, seem daunting on to most, and that being like a core driver and challenge. Well, that seems to be like never ending as well. And so I think the point of that, all of what I just shared, was to kind of reflect on the parts of ourselves that are consistent and true, and that don't change, and seeing how those parts of ourselves will continue to be regardless of the changes that occur around us, because there's always a means of expression of those things that we're always seeking to express those things.